Hey there YouTube, AJ here. Today I have another home project. I'm going to be taking this wall hanger Jeep grill that I've had banging around with me for quite some time now. It could actually be used on a Jeep. It's going to need some repair in some places. It's not perfect by a long shot, but I've just been using it for wall art in the garage. I always wanted to do a lighting project with this. Said something about that to my wife, and she thought that would be really cool to put on our screened-in patio. So that's what I'm going to be trying to do today, is turn this rusty old Jeep grill and this mismatched pile of Jeep parts into a garage chic patio light fixture. So let's see what we can do. First thing we got to do is get this thing cleaned up. It's pretty grimy. All right, so we'll just lay this out here in the sun, let that dry for a while. As I mentioned earlier, all these parts are all mix and match. I just got to make what I have work. I don't know exactly which parts I'm going to use, keep, etc. So let's start digging through what we got here. Okay, this one is definitely burnt out. I can hear the filaments rolling around inside of it, so it's done for. So I guess we'll put that one aside, and we'll plan on using these two. Okay, so next up, we gotta see if we can figure out how to assemble these buckets. Part of that's gonna be a problem because I don't have any screws for this stuff, so I gotta figure all that crap out. Open these up a little bit. Probably should have power washed all these. This one's kind of grimy. So we have a hole here, so we can assume that is either the top or bottom of the headlight, because that's where the wires are going to come out. We also have these two brackets here and here that are used to adjust the headlight left to right and up and down. This bracket here is for retaining screw for this. I guess it comes down to, do I want this retaining screw on the bottom or top? I think I want it on the bottom. So we're going to assume this is the top of the buckets. That is this broken tab. See? So we'll have to see about trying to reattach this to this. It's got holes in it. It looks like it was attached to a little brass pivot. Now back to figuring out how these fit. As we were saying, we are going to assume this is the top. That means we want to line up this to that and this to that. Alright, so see how that kind of floats around in the bucket? Now we have two adjusters and two springs to figure out how these go. Now I know your adjuster head, that rides in this little groove right there, and as you tighten it in and out, it pulls it up and down. This hole is for the trim ring. Don't remember how these springs go.
This adjuster.
The adjusters go in here. Okay, I think I got this figured out. Our adjusters go in, like I said, here and there. I was trying to figure out where the springs went, and I decided to clean them up a little bit, get rid of some of the rust off of them. When I went back to get the rest of the springs, I found these little pins. And these little pins must go through these holes on the back, and then one end of the spring will go through the hole, and then the other end of the spring goes up and hooks onto this cup. Now, got it figured out. Problem is, I only have 3 of these, and I need supposed to have 4.
Which way does it make the most sense to put these springs through?
All right, so we got both heads into the adjusters. Now, what could be the harder part? Somehow I have to hook those springs. I'm sure they make some kind of, when they're assembling these at the factory, they make some kind of hooked device to grab a hold, reach in and grab a hold of them. Ha! All right, come on, baby. A little further. Nope. Oh, you know what? Ah, they come up to here in these little tabs. They need to come out and hook. That makes more sense that they would hook up there. So what we need to do, there's one. Oh, come on now. And there's 2. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this from the side. You can see this edge is a lot further out than this edge. So what we're going to do is screw that in. And looks like we need to screw this one in some too. So all I really care about is that this is pretty equal around. Good deal. One bucket together. Now that we know how to do it, it should be a lot easier. Problem is we only have one of these pins. So even though we only have one of these pins, I don't think I'm really going to worry about it too much. I don't know, could I possibly... Maybe I'll just try to stretch it, hook it just through the hole itself and stretch it up. We'll try that. If that gets us there, it gets us there. If not, we won't worry about it too much, since this isn't going to be on the road. It's not going to be like it's a dangerous thing. We'll just use it if we can. So hopefully, now that we know what we're doing, this might go together a little easier. Alright, I wouldn't suggest this if you were driving the car, but it'll do. I don't know, it's pulling it down awful tight. Don't think I like that. Yeah, I don't like that. It's making it, putting too much tension on the adjustment. Maybe if I got a little S hook, just lengthen it, it'll be okay. But I don't like this. We're going to take that off. I'm going to leave it in there for now. And maybe look for a little S hook that I can put a little length in there to where it'll work a little better. But we're just going to run it without it for now. Alright, that's adjusted very well. It's pretty solid without it. I don't think I'm going to worry about it. I think I'm just going to leave the spring in there, let it go. I think it's plenty for a wall hanger. Alright, that's good. We're going to do that. Alright, so we got our buckets ready to go. So next thing up, let's go ahead and try to put these in the grill. Alright, so basically what we need now is four little bolts each. Actually, we really don't need 4, but I'll put 4 in there if I have them. Yeah, that's no bolts in that one. Alright, in those boxes, I don't have anything that'll work. Okay, so it turns out the only bolts I really have that'll fit these holes are grade 5, and I don't really want to waste them on this. So since I need to go get some more screws anyway to finish this project, like especially the little screws that hold the trim light rings to the inner bucket, the headlight retaining rings, I should say, these dealios, I need screws to do that. So I'm gonna have to go get screws anyway. So I'm just gonna go ahead and not use my grade 5 bolts, and I'll buy new bolts for that, cheap ones. They don't have to have any grading. So anyway, we got stuff we can move on with, because we still need to figure out how we're gonna mount the parking lights, clean these up, clean the rings up. We got stuff to do. We'll leave this part where it's at for now, and we'll keep moving. So I've got my parking light receptacle, and it turns out these two holes don't match up with these two holes. Also, these two holes don't match up with these two holes or these two holes. So you can see I got pieces, lenses and bezels from one model. This is from another model, although this is painted the same yellows and reds as this. So these had to have come with this. However, they don't work with this. I even looked at possibly, thought about like putting them on from behind and then just putting these on here, which honestly that might be the best idea. I'm not worried about putting holes in this. If anybody ever wants to rebuild this grill and use it again, this would be easy to weld up and fix. So what I think I'm going to do is put this in here, drill my holes straight through this, turn this 90 degrees, come straight through here, put this on from behind, and just run bolts all the way through it. Decision made. So where these two holes need to be, when you go to drill them, they're going to be like right on the edge of these holes. So I can't really get a drill on there because it's just going to keep slipping off into the hole. So instead what we're going to do, take a rat tail file and just widen these holes out. Alright, so now we got these ready. So at this point I need screws to attach the inner trim ring bulb retainer to this. I need 2 screws to attach these outer trim rings to the buckets. I need bolts to attach the buckets to the grill shell. I need bolts to attach these through the grill shell and this, and I need bolts to attach this to the grill. And I got to figure out how I'm going to attach this back to that headlight retaining ring. So right now the only thing left I can do is clean up my headlight retaining rings, which I've got them soaking in hot soapy water right now because they had a whole bunch of tape on them. And then I got to do something about these. So I think the first thing I got to do about these is strip this beige paint off. I'm not going to worry about the inside obviously, but the outer ring part of it. So if I strip that beige paint off, maybe hammer them a little better into shape, and we'll see what's underneath here. Hopefully it's still some kind of chrome under there. If not, we'll have to paint these something. I don't know what kind of paint I used, but it was holding on there pretty good. But I got it all off. Maybe I'll polish this up a little more with some steel wool and then hit it with some clear just to keep it protected from rusting again, maybe. I don't know. We'll see when we get there. But for now, yeah, these will work for our purposes. They'll look good. Little blingity bling up here. We have all our pieces now. Well, minus the ones that are in there soaking right now to get the tape off. So I guess the next step is shut everything down for now and come back when we have screws to start putting this stuff together. So I ran and bought some screws and bolts and stuff. So we're going to go ahead and assemble as much as we can right now, starting with the headlight buckets.
If I do the whole way, it's fine. You got my size down, they're a little snug.
Alright, next, put this little bar on here. Now these bolts were just regular zinc steel because they're going to be hidden. Got oval head stainless steel ones for this, make it look a little nicer. Don't need it, but what the heck. I got it all the places that the screws are going to be showing. I got stainless steel, so it'll stay a little nicer.
That's close.
There we go. All right, that looks nice. Let's see how this fits.
That'll work on the fly here.
All right, I think that'll work for that one. This one should be good to go as is. All right, cool. Obviously I can't put this on permanently until I get the bucket, everything done inside here. So those are ready to go. I am going to clear coat these. Got to get clear coat. I haven't got that right now. And we have the screws for these pieces. Or again, not until I get the bulbs changed. Speaking of the bulbs, I got this one I cannot get out. And I think what I'm going to have to do is bust this bulb, get in there with a pair of needle nose to get that base out. So, that said, that broke it. Let's see if we can get this thing out now.
I have to go get some real needle nose for this. Still busting glass out first.
There we go.
Got it.
Okay, that's kind of crusty. So, we need to get a wire brush to clean these out.
Alright, so we can do here. Alright.
Okay, hopefully that'll get these where I can get the bulbs in and out. Okay, so these have been sitting soaking for a couple hours. Let's see if this tape comes off now. It's going to be a pain. It's going to fight me the whole way. Alright, so we'll get some steel wool and polish these up. But first, let's see if we can do anything about that broken tab on that one. This one actually has a missing rivet too, where it just goes together. But the screws should hold that in place, so I'm not too worried about that. This little tab used to be riveted right there with a little brass rivet. However, I don't have any brass rivets, so we're going to improvise. Okay, so I don't even have any little brass rod the right size, but I have a coat hanger. So we're going to try to see if we can't make our own rivets out of this coat hanger. Okay, so my coat hanger rivet wasn't working out too well. The steel just wouldn't offset enough. I needed a softer material like brass. So I'm going to go with a different option here. I made a little staple out of the coat hanger, put it through like that, and then I'm going to put my piece on like that, and hopefully I'll be able to bend this all back together. And Smash this down thin enough to where it'll still work. Okay. Ha! Got one side of my staple pinched. Alright, so we got it stapled now. Okay, so it's a little loose and rattly, but for purposes of this, as long as it all holds it together, it'll be fine. Wouldn't want to make that part of my normal driving, but it would definitely get you down the road. Okay, we got a little bit of steel wool here. Let's see if we can't make these look a little better. Yeah, I'm gonna have to work harder at that, getting that tape off there. The tape's not gonna come off as easy as I'd like. And we're back. Okay, so I did pop these off and took some steel wool, polished them up as best you kind of can, as you know, they're rusty, and hit them with some clear coat so they might stay a little nicer for a little longer. We'll see. I've got all my parts except for my bulbs for my parking lights. They're supposed to be here tomorrow, so we're gonna go ahead and get back on the project though. I got my secret surprise for it. I got an outlet that has a remote button to turn on and off. So, or not an outlet, I don't know what you call it. It's kind of like a short extension cord with two plugs in it that you can remote turn it on and off. Anyway. And then I got the pigtails for the headlights. So let's do that next. Let's pop these headlights back out, take the retaining rings off, put these on so we can test them. We'll do that. Probably should have done this before I put the retaining rings back on the headlights and stuck them in the buckets. So hopefully they'll work, but I need to test the bulbs, I guess, make sure they burn. So I've got this power supply here. Not sure what it came off of. I keep all these old power supplies for use on projects like this. This one's a Dell and it puts out 5.4 volts. Now, these headlights are 12 volts, I believe. I don't want them to be really bright. I don't want them to be headlights. I want them to just kind of glow. So I'm hoping 5.4 volts to these headlights will just give them a dull glow, a low, very low light. This light fixture is for ambiance, not for lighting. So, all right, let's plug her in and see what we got. We got nothing. Basically, it just doesn't have the amperage needed for the headlights because I couldn't get any kind of incandescent light powered from it. However, I got a bigger transformer here that I don't even know what it's from. I dug it up, and now if we test it, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it is working. I'll have to use this power supply, which is not exactly what I wanted because it's really big. Don't know if we can hide that. We might have to figure out something else for a power supply. So now that we know that this works, let's go ahead and put our trim rings on and get that buttoned up. I did notice these threads in this tab here are kind of loose. So I've got these clips. It's basically a little U-shaped spring clip with a hole in it. I'm going to try to use these clips on here, and that'll make that hole tighter. And I'll be able to get these rings tighter than I could before because that hole's just a little stripped out. Okay. Oh yeah, plenty tight with that spring clip in there. That worked well. There we go. So our headlights are ready to go. Don't have my parking light bulbs yet, so I can't put those in yet. Let's see. Are we going to be able to hide this on the backside? This thing is just too big. I need a smaller power supply. Now, our LED light strip. This is an LED light strip that changes colors and actually has a microphone. It'll pulse and change the lights to beat of music. So I thought it would be cool to have this in here, and it'd be a backlight, and it would not shine out through the grill, but shine onto the wall behind the grill and create just an aura pulsing behind it. This kit comes with the receiver, or that's what makes it do its little magic stuff. That's going to have to be in here. It comes with a power source, and it comes with 100 foot, 65 feet, I don't know. Has a remote control. This goes on with adhesive. Need some double-sided tape. I think what we're going to do is stick that down here. This will plug in to the connector. Okay, so we got the LEDs all wired up. Let's do a little test run here. Turn them on in 3, 2, 1. Hey, we got blue lights. Red. Green. Put them on auto. What's that do? Alright. Okay, cool. This is flashes. I know there's a music setting. Bum, 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 bum. Hey, not bad, eh? Hey, it actually works the vocals too. That's pretty cool. Hey. All right. Okay, so obviously this is the back side of the grill, and these lights are not made to shine forward. They're made to shine back against the wall behind the grill, so hopefully it'll give like an ambient glow. So that's what we're gonna have to see if it works or not, but I love that the sound's working. So cool. Okay, so this is the base out of the one parking light. The wiring was really, it had old cloth wiring on it, and it was all raw in places, and the wire was not looking good. So what I did was I cut the base off, cut the wires off really close to the base, snipped them, stripped them, and then now I'm cleaning them up. What I'm going to do is solder on new leads. Alright, I think if we file these down, we should have something to work with. And I filed these little buttons down where I think they'll work good, just fine for us. Now we're going to feed this into here. And we're just going to put it together like this. I've got my wiring all done for my background lights. I've got my wiring done for my parking lights and my headlights. And I still need my bulbs for my parking lights so I can get those in and permanently mounted. Those should be here tomorrow. Yeah, we'll get those and I'll start thinking about how I'm going to do this power supply. But we're close. Okay, we've got our bulbs now for the parking lights. And we've got a power source, so hopefully we get everything we need to finish this thing. So the bulbs are in. This power supply I bought it's a little smaller than the other one. It's 6 amps at 12 volts. The other one was 5.8. This one come with a little connector here that has screw terminals to it that I can connect, so that'll make connecting easier. Let's hope all 4 lights come on. And we have none. What's going on here? All the lights are now working. Okay, now we're just going to go ahead and get our bottom lenses mounted, and then we'll have to figure out the power supply thing. Okay, so I screwed up. I forgot these were supposed to mount from the back side and sandwich the grill between it so I didn't damage either one other than these holes. So I've got to undo my wiring on these, on my parking lights, so I can bring them in from the back. Daggone it. Okay, so I just cut the wires, put stake-on clamps on each end, reconnected them with the light fixture on the correct side of the grill, which is the back side in this case. I already mounted this one over here. When I went to mount it, I did realize that the lens was too loose. There was too much of a gap between the grill face and the inside of this bezel, so the lens was like rattling around in there. So I just took some thin sheets of rubber, cut me 3 washers, got me about, I don't know, like 3/16 of an inch thick, created a washer to hold the lens in there really nice. And yeah, now we can go ahead and get this one mounted, hopefully. Hey, look at that. We have all 4 lights glowing warmly. Nice. Okay. Now we need to get that other power source figured out. Okay, so I got another transformer. This time it's instead of a power supply, it's like an actual transformer out of like a halogen light. Transforms 110 house voltage to 12 volt AC. That shouldn't matter. It is, light bulbs shouldn't care if it's on DC or AC, so that shouldn't be a big deal. And this is an 80 watt transformer, so it should have more than enough power. So let's test this one out. Try again. 3, 2, 1. All right. Their headlights are gone. One parking light's gone. That is the socket I rebuilt. All right, so this is the socket I did not rebuild, and as you can see, it's got an issue. It's not making contact constantly. So, all right, so we're good on the transformer at least, but now we got to tear this back off and basically do what I did to that one. I'm just going to completely rebuild, put new contacts into this socket, so hopefully that'll be fixed. Okay, well, it wasn't my previous repair that was bad. It was actually the insulator disc that holds the contacts in the right position was starting to break apart and letting these not touch the electrodes on the bulb. So when I took it apart to try to repair it, fix that disc, the disc just disintegrated. So out with the old, and so I ran down to AutoZone, bought a universal circuit, and we're we're gonna take it apart, throw that part away, and we're gonna see if we can use this in this socket somehow. And yeah, make it work. We'll see. Okay, what I did was cut a little bit off the back of the plastic piece here, hoping the socket, this will go further into the socket now.
We'll see. Put it all back together. We'll try it again.
Alright, now we're going to cut some of the spring off. I don't know. Okay, it looks like these little brass tubes are hitting on something, so we're going to shorten them up. Ha! Probably should test this before we try to put it back in. Come on, luck be a lady tonight. Hey, alright. I don't know if you can see it, but I can see it. It's working. Sweet. Alright, so now we just gotta put this all back together, wire it back in, and I think we're getting someplace. Okay, well, it's done. Well, almost done. This cord is temporary. It's the only cord I had, so I gotta find a nicer cord that kind of blends in, make it a little more discreet, so that'll go away. But the light itself is done. As you can see it up there. So I guess before we go though, we'll show you what it looks like with the lights off. All right, here we go. So that's what it looks like with the lights on. It's not pitch black out, but it's getting kind of dark. I think it's about the right amount of light. I can always put a dimmer in it and tone those lights down a little bit if I want. So I'll live with it for a while like this, and we'll go from there. But wait, there's more. So this is the backlight, and right now it's just on a fade pattern where it just fades in and out of the different colors. You can do it to where it more jumps from one color to another. Do it on flash. You can even customize your own program on this. There's all kinds of different things you can do. I think it looks pretty cool with the backlight on it. You can see it through the grill and everything. I hope it's coming out on camera like it looks here. So that's pretty cool. Probably one of my favorite features though is this. So now if you talk, you see it flashes and goes to the voice. It actually hears sound and will modulate, and there's different programs that you can put it on to modulate. So I don't know if you can see the difference. If I just keep talking, it doesn't really look a lot different right now. There, keep going. That one's a little slower, it looks like maybe. There. Well, anyway, I think it's pretty cool. I like it. That's more for music. I don't have any royalty-free music that I can play right now to kind of make it go to music, but you know, I can kind of do the bum 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 bum. So yeah, it's kind of dumb, but it's kind of cool to me. So I like it. I think it looks pretty cool. I love the modulating backlights. I think that gives it a nice little touch. So I'm pretty happy with it. So we'll leave it there, live with it. Might tweak some things here and there. Like I said, I'm going to get rid of this cord, maybe make the lights dimmable later on. But for now, it's going to be good. So we're going to leave it there for now, and until next time, YouTube, later.